Most Britons can't remember a time when she wasn't Queen. Her face is known throughout the world. Head of state of 15 nations, head of the Commonwealth, Elizabeth II was the longest reigning monarch in the 1,000-year history of Britain's royal family. Her death marks the end of an era during which Britain's role in the world has been transformed.
She's the longest serving, the longest reigning, the oldest monarch in history. She's somebody, I think, that will leave a legacy that will go on for many, many years.
Born on April 21st, 1926, Elizabeth Windsor was never meant to become Queen. But in 1936, her uncle, Edward VIII, shocked the world by abdicating to marry an American divorcee, making his brother king and Elizabeth heir to the throne. When George VI died in 1952, Elizabeth became Queen at just 25 years old. Her coronation the following year was the first internationally televised live event. It was the moment she made her solemn promise to serve her country for life.
She made it clear right from the start that she would see it through whatever happened. She would never abdicate under any circumstances, and that all of her life would be devoted to duty. And I think she got that sense of duty from her father, who rescued the monarchy after King Edward VIII had abdicated.
Always strictly neutral politically, Elizabeth nonetheless had the ear of every British Prime Minister from Winston Churchill onwards. The content of their weekly meetings is one of Buckingham Palace's most closely guarded secrets.
Are you supposed to be looking as if you're enjoying it?
Yes.
Throughout her 7 decades on the throne, she also met dozens of foreign leaders, everyone from Charles de Gaulle to Nelson Mandela to Donald Trump. She embodied stability in a century marked by political and social upheaval.
Every decade that she was on the throne, there were massive changes, social changes, and there were wars, there were recessions, there were financial crises, there was a COVID crisis, all these things, and she was the one constant.
Said by some to have been distant from her 4 children, her harshest test came in the wake of the death of Princess Diana, with British media judging her response too slow and reliant on outdated protocol. More recently, scandal surrounded her son Prince Andrew, who reached an out-of-court settlement after being accused of sexual assault. And the royal family was accused of racism by Prince Harry and his wife Meghan, though they were quick to exclude the Queen herself from the charge. Throughout it all, she has remained a steadying figurehead at the top of the institution.
I mean, the Queen throughout her reign has been, I think, very stoic. She has been very enduring because she's understood that her position was not to make sort of sudden or perhaps dynamic moves, but to kind of be a more constant presence and also to listen. And I think that's something that she did very well very early on in her reign. She really listened and learned.
Still working well into her 90s, her public appearances decreased following the death of her husband Philip. But in 2022 she reached 70 years on the throne, becoming the first monarch to mark a platinum jubilee. The celebrations were tinged with the knowledge that this would likely be her last such major event. Her son Prince Charles has gradually taken on more responsibility and finds himself king of a very different country to that which his mother first ruled. No longer an empire, the UK is more socially liberal, but faces the divisions of Brexit and the possibility of Scotland holding another independence referendum. But with the royal lineage assured for 3 generations through Charles, grandson William and great-grandson George, Elizabeth II has departed knowing she fulfilled her principal duty, to guarantee the continuity of the British monarchy.